25, 30, 25, 30 is an on and average package zone, I feel. Honestly, my journey was forceful. I mean, even I started my career with the AWS. The catalyst for this journey was that bad appraisal. So I'll tell you the entire stack. So first of all, if you are going with the Azure Data Engineering, the best part is like interviews are very easy, and I see so many requirements each and every day. I mean, a lot of people reaching out to me like if I can provide some data engineers to them as well.
Hey everyone, welcome back to eLearning Bridge. I hope you guys are doing good and staying safe. So I am back with another amazing and really interesting podcast. And as you have seen the thumbnail, yes, in this podcast, we will be having an amazing conversation about Azure Data Engineering. And in order to give you the crisp and to the point insights about the Azure Data Engineering, I have invited an experienced personality in the Azure Cloud and Data Engineering, Mr. Deepak Goyal. So in this podcast, he will share his complete experience in this Azure Data Engineering space. He will help you with the crisp roadmap. He will talk about all the important building blocks of Azure Data Engineering, what would be the expectation from you in the interviews, if you know different clouds, what is the future of it, what kind of projects you can work, and all those kind of important and very, very important insights he will be talking about in this podcast. This is very much important for all the aspiring data engineers. So don't skip even a single second of this podcast. Watch it till the very end, because Azure Data Engineering is something which is in the demand, and its demand is increasing day by day, and that is why it can even make you millionaire in next couple of years. So just stick there for next 30 minutes and watch it till the very end. And yes, subscribe to the channel and press the notification icon. Alright, so thank you so much Deepak for joining me on my podcast, and this was most awaited podcast on my channel because people were requesting about cloud data engineering and most specifically Azure Data Engineering. So guys, here is your podcast, and we have Deepak today. It would be really great, Deepak, if you can introduce yourself to the audience and anything about your professional background.
So yeah, thank you so much, Shashank. Even I think this is one of the most awaited for me as well. I was like trying to be on your show. Finally, I got a chance to be on your show. So I mean, its pleasure is all mine to be on your show. So starting with the introduction, I mean, myself, Deepak Goyal. I'm almost having around 15 years of experience now in IT, and I'm a cloud solution architect. Like I do work as a technical architect. I also mentor a lot of students. So far, almost I have mentored around 1,000 plus professionals, and I make many of them as a Azure data engineer. So I'm a that's a proud moment for me that like a lot of my students in my trainees, all this got placed in a big companies, and so it's an amazing journey I had.
Very, very happy that I was able to bring you on my channel, because this 15 years of your experience in the cloud architect is gonna be super helpful for the audience, since it's been 15 years for you, right? You have seen the whole journey of big data as well, how things move from on-prem to the cloud. So for you, when and how did you start your journey specifically into the cloud data engineering?
Honestly, my journey was forceful, so it was not thoughtful. It was like way back in 2012, almost 10 years ago. I was working as a Java developer, and like I mean, honestly, I got a very bad appraisal. My package was not increasing, and all those was challenges was out there. So then suddenly I thought of it like rather than changing a company would not be the solution, because again, I thought like it's important to learn something new, and then probably I should go ahead and switch it. So that's the point. I mean, the catalyst for this journey was that bad appraisal. So that pushed me hard to do something new. So that's how I started it. In 2012, there was YouTube was not popular. Honestly, in India, we don't have that internet connection as well, right? That speed up internet connection. So it was a big problem. So I started with learning through ebooks only. So that time it was Hadoop. So big data was in Hadoop only that time. So I started my journey with the Hadoop. I did my certification. I was a Cloudera Hadoop certified in 2012, and that's how I started with the Hadoop. And Once I did it, I got a hike within the same company. Then I switched it, and so many things changed. So life entirely changed after that. But yeah, that was the one of the key factor, and that's how I move forward towards the data engineering side.
How amazing this part, like you took that bad appraisal in a positive way and tried to
So
upskill yourself, right? So this is
ex-
fantastic.
exactly, the point was like not just go ahead and switch the company. Switch the company, it's fine. Important is you carry something which your weapon is your skill. So you
Yeah.
have to sharpen your weapon to strike good. So that's what my thought was that time. So I mean,
Yeah.
with the grace of God, all went well.
And guys, in the last few weeks, I have covered so many amazing success stories where folks actually move from non-tech backgrounds to data science, data analyst, and data engineering. And do you know what was the common thing among these success stories? One platform, that is Odin School, because their extensive data science bootcamp actually helped these candidates to kickstart their career in data analytics domain. And not only that success story, Odin School has created so many amazing success stories which you can see here, where folks are actually moving from the non-tech domains to data science, data analytics, data engineering, and eventually working in all good companies. And this is the actual difference they have created in the market for all the aspiring data professionals. So what is inside their data science bootcamp? Definitely you can see all the details here, but I have also provided one link in the description which you need to check out so that you can enroll yourself in this data science bootcamp. It will be a 6-month long program with live classes, 360-degree placement assistance with 250 plus hiring partners. And here you can see how Odin School has partnered with 250 plus hiring partners like Deloitte, Tech Mahindra, Entity, Capgemini, 230% maximum salary hike, which is truly amazing. So anyone who want to kickstart their career in data science, data analytics, who want to change their profession, who want to upskill, and who want to relaunch their career in the data analytics domain, this is the bootcamp for you. And in terms of the curriculum, all the mandatory and required skill sets will be taught in this whole curriculum. Starting first month will be for the data science curriculum, and then you can even pick any specific specialization like visualization, data analyst, data engineering, and business analytics. And after that, you will be having a full support in terms of the placements, the career advice, and the mentorship from the industry experts. There will be live weekend classes, project-based learning will be there, career services, and here you can even see a small glimpse of real-world projects which will be covered in this bootcamp. So their new batch is just about to start, and I have provided the link in the description. Use that one and change your career. Any of you having this similar kind of story? Let's say forcefully you take decisions and now you are very proud of that decision and you are doing really good in that domain. Just share that like experience in the comment section. I'd be really happy to see that. In the big data, we know about data engineering, but nowadays this cloud data engineering part is also very popular. So you have been working on big data mostly on the cloud, and we have heard about data engineers, but what is this cloud data engineer profile actually, right? If anybody wants to understand how this is different from typical data engineering profile, and how do they actually work?
So I'll take one example along with this answer. So initially, when I started my journey, like in 2012, honestly, that time people don't call data engineers at all. There was no cloud data engineer. There was not data engineer. There was only and only role was big data developer, Hadoop developer, Hadoop admin. That kind of role was there. Hardly it's like from 2016 17 onwards we started listening all those data engineer one. So in by this 2015 onwards, I would say, like cloud started picking up. So that's this time this cloud is coming up. In 2012 there was no cloud. So
Yeah.
now why this is important? The important, you think like that. If the big data is what? Big data is a huge amount of a data. Now when you have a huge amount of a data, you need the clusters, right? You need the machines, a set of number of machines, 20 machine, 30 machine, 50 machine, right? Now managing all those machines on your own on-premises cluster and managing them, it's a tedious job.
Right.
For a small organization, for a startup, it's a tedious one. So anybody is like quickly go to the cloud, spin up as many as machine they want, and they can continue with their working, right? And data size is also used, right? So I mean, cloud perfectly makes sense. If you are going for a big data, then going without cloud does not make sense at all. I mean, because nowadays very rarely I have seen like organizations maintaining everything on their on-prem. most of them is now leveraging the cloud. So that's why this cloud data engineers is now important, because earlier it was just a big data developer or data engineer now, but you need to know how it plays into the cloud world. So that's why this is now getting importance now.
The time for very interesting question and our audience is waiting for it, right, since very long.
Okay.
So Deepak, like you have a great expertise on Azure data engineering side. It would be really great if you can give a very crisp roadmap to our audience about the Azure data engineering roadmap, as in what kind of important things under the Azure they need to focus for the data engineering part. What are the tech crux of the Azure data engineering?
Very good question. I think I answer this question most of the time on my LinkedIn. A lot of people asking me, and honestly, I have copy pasted this answer. so, so the challenge in the Azure data engineering is there are two parts. First part is learning the cloud basics. So cloud basics, you must know about the what are the basic services in the cloud, like storage service, compute service, your keyword, so basic thing. So and then there is a data engineering part, which is like very specific across the cloud, not just with the Azure. So I'll tell you the entire stack. So first of all, if you are going with the Azure data engineering, go with the basics of Azure. So maybe you can do the Azure fundamental certification, or even if you don't do that certification, I would recommend at least go through the course of that AZ 900. Okay, like learning the basic Azure storage or those kind of basic services. Then there is another important service, Azure Data Factory. So Azure Data Factory is like for your ETL pipeline mechanism or for your orchestration. So that Azure Data Factory is like heart of any Azure data engineer. And trust me, this is one of the easiest within the Azure stack.
Okay.
So it's one of the easy. There is no coding required, nothing. Okay, so it's an easy part. Then comes the second thing, which is a Spark, Databricks, or a PySpark, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so you need to learn this. So this will helps you to write logics using either a Python, Scala, or a SQL. So then you need to learn any one of them, PySpark, Spark, or a Databricks.
Okay.
Then Azure Synapse, which is a mix of this is Spark plus your ADF. So for Synapse, there is no much learning curve. So I would say it's, if you know the first two, you know already the Synapse part.
Okay.
Then I think rest is like you little bit know about a Snowflake, little bit about SQL and Fivetran. There are a lot of tools, but heart and soul of a Azure data engineer are the two things, ADF, and the second one is either your Databricks, Spark, or PySpark, whatever you pick it up.
Really helpful, I guess, right? This will give them an idea that this will definitely give them an idea that how they need to move into the Azure data engineering part. So definitely one like for this part, because you guys were waiting for it, and that's why I brought Deepak on my channel, that yes, I'll help you guys with the Azure data engineering part. So thanks, Deepak, and also I'll put his profile link in the description box for the LinkedIn, so you can reach out to him anytime. He will definitely help you for the Azure data engineering thing, right? What kind of companies hire aggressively for Azure data engineer role? Because now we know, right, cloud data engineering is also getting popular, but people need to know that what kind of companies are actually hiring for it. They know, yes, data engineers is something companies are hiring, but for the cloud data engineering, how much experience these companies are actually expecting, and also what would they focus on during the interviews part?
If we specifically talk from the India's perspective, or the you folks who is from looking for a job within the India region, so I would say like all the service-based company mostly is looking for a Azure data engineer. And I see so many requirements each and every day. I mean, a lot of people reaching out to me like if I can provide some data engineers to them as well. So a lot of jobs are there. I'll tell you what they basically looks for is like someone who know ADF, someone who know Databricks or the Spark. So basically these two skill set is the most looking forward skill set in any data engineer. So even if you go for an interview, these two things will gonna ask most of the time. Second thing is like lot of people have a challenge that, okay, I'm already in Java, I'm already in the BI, I'm already in the testing domain, or maybe some other technology. If I do, I mean, if I learn, how they will take me, they will count me as a freshers or what? So
Yeah.
guys, this technology in itself is quite new. I mean, Azure itself got popular after 2015 and 16. Spark came in 2014. So it's not more than 7, 8 years old technology. So anyway, I mean, anyone who is like 8, 10 years of experience, nobody, I mean, company won't get anyone who is having 8 to 10 years of experience in this technology. Hardly they will get any resource who is 3, 4 years of experience. So don't worry about it. Just learn the concept, do some POC around it, and push forward your profile. You will easily get through this because there's a lot of demand in the market. And I mean, there is no one was using Azure so far, like 4 years back. So for any organization, finding someone who is like 5, 10 years of experience is impossible. So you have a very high chance to get through any job into the Azure data engineering.
Probably consulting or service based companies, I have seen these Azure data engineering, GCP, AWS data engineers, like very high number of openings in these companies.
And there is a reason behind it, Shashank, because like see, we are in the second stage. The first era of digitalization was like all the organization in India, outside India, was like building the websites. We were building the automating the thing. Probably we are making things online. Now online has been done. Most of the things are now online. Now it's time to manage the data and get the analytics or the insights from this data. So now
Right.
every company is moving to that zone now, and there is the data engineer who can help them to get the insight from this data or to manage this huge amount of data. So that's why there is a huge thrust you will see in the demands and the data engineer.
And let's say any of you recently tried the interview switch part or explored new opportunities, and you found few opportunities in, let's say, XYZ company, put that name or list in the comment section so that it can helpful for other audience to understand that what kind of companies are hiring for the Azure data engineer role. Definitely talked about the skills, but how to actually acquire it. Obviously somebody needs some resources. Since right, you know a lot about it, so any important resource or certification in combine which can help aspiring data engineers to acquire Azure related skill sets?
Time by time, you see a lot of free trainings from the Microsoft as well. So you can follow the Microsoft, and they give a free virtual trainings as well. So like Azure Fundamental one. So either you can join those free trainings, or else Microsoft documentation is also very good. So Microsoft Learn portal, you can go there. It's a free portal and everything is written very crystal clear. So that would really help. Honestly, I did my certification using that documentations only. So
Wow.
that is very helpful. I mean, if somebody who's looking for the good and the free content, probably that could be the way. Otherwise, there are a lot of people who is running some paid programs as well. Probably you can join those as well. I mean, I myself also take a lot of free sessions as well. So if you follow me, probably, I mean, I am teaching also a lot of free content. So you can follow me as well for those free content.
So he's very experienced, guys. You need to check out his training programs as well. Since in the 15 years of experience, you would have also taken a lot of interviews, and you would have seen that market bracket or the compensation range. So based on the current market situation, how much compensation Azure data engineers are getting? Like, is their salary is competent enough, or not touching the bars of data engineers, or is these something?
For Azure Data Engineer at the moment, sky is the limit. Honestly, I mean, I've seen people having 2 years of experience getting 10 lakhs, 20 lakh, 12 lakhs, 4 years, 5 years of total workers. People are getting like 20, 25 at 10 years, 40, 50. I mean, it's like anything. I mean, there is no rational behind now in the data engine, Azure data engineer especially. So like you can easily find a package between, like, if you are counting from a 2 years to 10 years, I would say if 2 years to 10 years bracket is there for the experience range, then package would be like 10 to 50 lakhs. So
Okay.
that's a very wide package that I've seen. But in general, on an average, for any Azure Data Engineer, you will find like 25-30 is an on an average package zone, I feel. So money is like flowing like anything. I mean, and you
Yeah.
know that it's a market, right? So where
Yeah.
demand is very high and a very low number of Azure Data Engineers available.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason you will see this much.
Seems like a best opportunity for aspiring data engineers who want to move
Exactly.
into the Azure data
Exactly.
engineering. But on an average, 25 to 30 LPA, 40 LPA is definitely not bad. A very, very amazing start, you can say, or very, very amazing compensation.
And trust me, the best part is like interviews are very easy.
Yeah.
Trust me,
Oh,
interviews
wow.
are so easy. I mean, it's not like that you have to, and you have to learn, you don't need to learn DSA, you don't need to learn the system analysis design and all. No, no complex thing needed. Just go ahead, learn simple this technology, go ahead, set an interview, spend 2 hours on those interviews, and you are 25 lakhs
Wow,
package.
wow. Thanks for giving this motivation to the audience. Now they are like, yes, gearing up. Yes, Azure data engineering is our future. In the beginning, so many people get confused while choosing the specific cloud platform, because in the market we have already big players like AWS, Azure, GCP, and there are many more as well. So obviously, right, multiple options, that means lots of confusion as well, and especially for the beginners and the fresher. So what would you suggest to them, that how can they actually make a good decision that yes, we can move ahead with, let's say, Azure or GCP or AWS, or you have some different opinion for that?
A very good question, Shashank. I mean, honestly, again, this is the question which a lot of people ask to me every time on the LinkedIn and anywhere. My answer is very simple. We have three clouds majorly: AWS, GCP, and Azure. Okay, AWS, which was started quite early, so you have a lot of people you will see who are already part of AWS. Then Azure is the one which is like booming at the moment. So the growth, if we look at it from the terms in terms of the growth percentage, Microsoft Azure is moving very fast, and then Google Cloud is behind it. Okay, now which one to? I mean, if you think just from the functionality and how they work perspective, all three will almost similar. So whatever you can do in the AWS, mostly the same thing you can do in the Azure, or you can do in the Google Cloud as well. So even if you know one of them,
Right.
then knowing other two will be an easy thing to do. Okay, so that's the first difference. Now again, if these three are the same, still you have to pick one and to start. I feel choice should be an Azure, not just because I'm an Azure architect, or maybe I promote Azure indirectly because I love it. Not just because of that, there is a reason behind it. And my reason is very simple again. You yourself see, most of the organization already have a Microsoft product, right? Either they are using operating system,
Right.
Microsoft Office, Microsoft 365, SQL Server, Dynamics, SSIS, you name it, you find each and every organization in one or another way is already using Microsoft services or product. Now imagine
Right.
for them, for Microsoft, how easy it would be to push their own product, right? If somebody is already using one of my
Right.
product, I already have a customer. Take another product to my this customer and convince them would be much easier task, right? So for Azure,
Right.
selling their product is very easy. So again, if somebody is buying an Azure, so obviously you will see the demand for the Azure much more. So for you, it makes sense to
Yeah.
start with the Azure logically. And then if you feel like that there is no requirement or something is there, then even learning another thing would be quite easy. So anyways, you should start first of all from any of the cloud. If you ask my recommendation is simple: start with Azure. Don't worry and don't think much, because it's easy to switch between the clouds as well.
Yeah, I completely agree this part, Deepak, and I also recommend the same thing, right? At the beginning, let's say you even picked one, for an example, AWS,
Yes.
and right, you don't think that companies won't be shortlisting you because they are working on Azure and you are having a knowledge in the AWS. They will be looking for this thing, that you are the person who knows about the cloud. So both, or not, the AWS, Azure, GCP, each of them are using same terminologies for the,
Exactly.
let's say, transactional database, AWS something, Azure has something, GCP has something.
Exactly.
So you need to know how transactional databases are working, their fundamentals. It will be a matter of implementation among these three. That's it. So nothing to worry about here, what I feel personally.
Exactly. I mean, even I started my career with the AWS, and then I moved to Azure.
Yeah. Yeah, that
So it
happens,
happens.
right? When you will have multiple players in the market, right, different companies will be using different things, right? So they will not impose this kind of criteria that yes, we will always hire a person who will have Azure data engineering understanding or anything like that.
Exactly. And I request who are all is listening to this podcast, please don't sit on sideline on deciding which to choose. Pick anyone. If you like Google, just start with the Google.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it. And you will thank
Right.
Shashank after it. I mean, after a year or so for making this podcast.
Cool. And I think you guys can let me know in the comment section. Let's say you have already started with it and you would have these options in front of you. What you picked, like AWS, so why? Like just explain with some reason, so I will have the understandings as well.
Yep.
Cool. So let's wrap up this session, Deepak, with one last final question, and that is like, what is the future scope of cloud data engineering? Like after 5-10 years, what do you feel about cloud data engineering? How it is gonna be there in the market?
Honestly, one of the toughest question of all the question which you have asked, Shashank, because the world of this is moving so fast. Really, it's so fast. It's difficult to imagine. After 10 years, I honestly, that will be a wrong estimate if I give it. But maybe like after 2, 4, 5 years, I would say majority of the data engineering work will get over maybe in 5, 7 years, and then mostly you will see something in the data science and then AI or something, or a blockchain or something like that. Because data engineering is like managing the data, and like once your all these pipelines and all your analytics is done, probably world will move to the next level. Just like as I was mentioning, that we move from making a website to the data engineering. Similarly, in couple of years, we'll move from data engineering to some AI or something else, maybe metaverse or something. So I think as an engineer, we all have to keep on learning, keep on upgrading ourselves, and just keep on checking what is going on in the market, and let's upskill yourself.
I'm really glad that I was able to make this session with you, and I hope like Deepak has answered all your queries. But still, if you feel there are like multiple queries which are like yet to be answered, so please feel free to put it in the comment section. I will again arrange a session with Deepak and we will clarify those questions. But honestly, for me, this was really informative, right? I also got to know good insights about the Azure part, and I think that would have been really helpful for you as well. If yes, so you know what you need to do. Just like it so that this information can reach to maximum number of people. So from my side, Deepak, and from the entire audience side, thank you so much for this session and just sharing your wonderful experience with the audience.
Thank you so much, Shashank. Thank you for inviting me and let share my knowledge. Thank you so much.
So that's what I had for you guys in this podcast. I'm pretty sure you would have enjoyed every single information shared by Deepak regarding the Azure Data Engineering. Quickly hit the like button and share it with your friends. Again, link is in the description. Check out this upcoming Data Science Bootcamp by Odin School. And if you want me to bring more and more podcasts related to Azure or GCP data engineering or AWS data engineering or cloud engineering, then let me know in the comment section. I will definitely do that. So I will see you guys in the next week with another amazing stuff, amazing podcast. Till then, just keep subscribing to the channel, press the notification icon, and also stay safe, stay home, take care of yourself and your family too.